One missed call has the power to make you question where you stand with someone. And it's not a rational reaction, is it? 1 minute you're fine, and the next minute your whole mood shifts. And suddenly, you're assessing everything. Do they like me? Are they mad at me? Did I do something wrong? And so the spiral begins. And the fascinating thing isn't that they missed the call. It's what you tell yourself. It's the story you tell yourself about you. And so today I want to talk about how something so small can create such a big reaction. And by the end of this episode, I want to help you catch that moment before you ruin your whole day and you end up in a spiral. Hi, my name is Maniza, and welcome back to the 3-Minute Pause podcast, where we pause before our emotions collide with our world. And I notice how our inner world and our outer world are constantly interacting in a way that is like a dance, and it's so seamless that I don't know who's leading. And the moments that happen like this on a daily basis, where we're constantly putting ourselves out there and we're not always getting the feedback that we want. Like when you give yourself, or when you give your opinion to somebody about something and they just kind of leave you hanging. Or when you send a text message and you don't get a response, but you can see the blue check marks. And don't get me started on the blue check marks. That is a whole other episode, and we'll do that another day. But the fact that they don't respond to your text message. And it creates this really deep, vulnerable feeling. Almost like you're hanging out there in the middle of nowhere. And it can feel like your head is stuffed with cotton wool, feel a little bit fuzzy. Sometimes you can hear the outside world. Sometimes you can't. And all that's left is this really deep feeling of what I call shame. And that shame, that feeling of shame is so debilitating that all it does is put us in a space where we're constantly questioning ourselves and constantly questioning our value in all our relationships. And if shame could speak, it would say, I'm not good enough for them. And that's when the spiral starts, where you start questioning everything about you and what you bring to the table. Do they like me? Do they want to be part of my life? Am I good enough? Am I worthy enough to be part of your life? And honestly, that's a really big place to go, from a missed phone call to whether or not I'm worthy or should even be in your life. And the spiral is questioning what you've done, who you are. What did you do to cause this? This immediate sense of I'm at fault. It's my fault that this happened. And that's a really, really tough place to be, and an exhausting place to be. Constantly questioning what you bring to the world and to the people around you. And the fact that you're immediately assuming you caused this, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure to be living under. And then you start questioning you and your value. And, is this my fault? Did I do something wrong? Am I a good person? Am I a kind person? Am I a worthy person? Am I a ... And all your insecurities come in and fill in those blanks. And now all of a sudden that shame just gets bigger and bigger. Because now not only are you stuck in this endless cycle and the endless spiral, your shame is just keeping you in this loop where you're now questioning yourself further and further and feeling worse and worse and worse about yourself. So you learn somewhere along the way that if a person doesn't respond to you quickly, then your fear is that they're debating whether or not to keep you in their life. And actually, the message that comes from that is that love can disappear without any warning. And that's a message you've heard repeatedly. I'll say it again. That love can disappear without any warning. And that that comes from that, because that's what it is, right? It's fear. We're scared. I'd be scared. You're scared. It's a really scary place to be. You start operating from that fear. And then that fear is running the whole show. And now you're scared of being alone again. And fear, being afraid, keeps you disconnected from yourself, because you cannot stay connected to the fear, otherwise you feel the pain. And the two can't go hand in hand. So you cannot feel the fear and stay connected. So the two choices, either you escape, which most of us do, or you stay with it, which most of us don't do, but we're hopefully learning how to do. And how you escape is up to you in terms of whether or not those choices are healthy or unhealthy, but that's not what we're debating today. The point is, you can either run away, which we know that we do a lot and we're good at, but maybe that's not the way to go this time. But you're still escaping. And now, being disconnected from yourself means you cannot show up in any other place in your life. How can you? You're disconnected from yourself. You're disconnected from the people in your environment. You cannot remain separated from that pain and show up for yourself or with other people. It's not physically possible. And that pain, that only adds to the loneliness. Personally, I think when we end up being disconnected, or when we lose connection, that's the most painful thing. Because that pain from the connection, from the loss of connection, can lead to two things. One, you stop trusting the world around you, and you stop trusting the people around you, and you try to remain disconnected for the rest of your life to protect you. Or two, you remain somewhat disconnected, but then you overshow up. You overdo in your relationships. And when you overdo in those relationships and you give so much of yourself, you overgive to the point of compensating for the other person. Just in case they can't show up or they don't show up, you won't feel that pain. But there's a third choice. And it's the pause. So this week, when you're flooded with shame or loneliness or fear, or if you're questioning where you stand in any one of your relationships, lean in. Just lean in for 3 minutes. 3 minutes. And you will notice that the pain will build and it will escalate and escalate and escalate. And at that point, you're going to be like, I want out. I completely want out. I cannot do this. Lean in and wait. Pause. Hold on. You can do this. And at the point where the pain hits the highest part of your threshold, you will notice, if you just wait till you get there, it will subside. And it doesn't take more than 3 minutes. So pause, lean in, and see what that does for you. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If this episode touched something in you, please share. I would love to hear about it. And subscribe so that others can learn to pause too. For show notes and more, you can visit www.manizakimji.com.